Hello and welcome to the Constant Vandenstock Stadium in Brussels as Anderlecht entertain Real Madrid in the Champions League. It's cold weather here in Anderlecht, although some of the home fans are trying to deny the fact.
Yeah, they're trying to pretend otherwise, but it is cold.
Madrid with a pretty familiar looking side, a few changes in it, but they're coming here with the confidence of knowing that they've already beaten Anderlecht 4-1 in this group stage.
Yeah, and also this being the fourth game now, Madrid can basically put their place in the next round. They won 2-1 in Rome. They stuffed Lokomotiv Moscow 4-0 at home, and then of course beat this lot Anderlecht 4-1. Victory today would put them through.
Exactly, that's what everybody wants. Get through to the second stage of the Champions League. It's been a very, very positive start for Real Madrid in this competition, and they must come here to Belgium reasonably optimistic that they're going to get the win they need.
Yeah, I mean they were so comprehensively superior to Anderlecht at the Bernabeu that even though obviously away is a very different matter, I think they'll be very confident of their ability to get through tonight. Yeah,
exactly. Here the sides Madrid in their away kit, Anderlecht in their traditional white shirts.
Yeah, Anderlecht wore a very strange kind of slightly off grey shirt at the Bernabeu. Really not the most attractive football shirt I've ever seen.
Indeed, here is the Anderlecht side. De Wilde, Illich, Krassen and Traore, Hassi, Van der Haga, Hendricks, Yachtuk, Baseggio, Mornar and Dindain. So a couple of changes from what we saw in the Bernabeu. It looks like they're going to go for the two strikers with Mornar helping Dindain, who was reasonably dangerous and scored for the goal. And for Madrid, it's Cesar, Pavon, Hierro, Michel Salgado, Roberto Carlos, Celades and Makalele in the middle, McManaman, Guti, Raul and Figo, with Figo probably playing more on the right than as a third striker.
Yeah, I think Figo will effectively just be an out-and-out right winger. McManaman will play on the left, but not very, very far left. He'll play quite a narrow position, and I think Roberto Carlos, as usual, will be asked to bomb on beyond him.
There are the substitutes.
And it is a cold night here.
Well, a big game for Anderlecht as well. They definitely need to win tonight if they are to do anything. There's Yachtuk, who didn't play in the Bernabeu.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they got a 1-1 draw with Lokomotiv.
Neither did Traore, the big number 34, who played central defence. Looks as if Anderlecht are going to swap things around and play three central defenders with Illich, Traore and Krassen. Krassen, of course, played as right back in the Bernabeu.
Yeah, and then they'll. I think it can be read a number of ways, can't it? I think that will be essentially it will be attacking, but it gives them the ability to regroup in numbers when they need to. I mean, they can't afford to defend Anderlecht, really. I mean, they got a 1-1 draw against Lokomotiv in Moscow. They were held to 0-0 at home by Roma and then stuffed 4-1 by Real Madrid. So 2 points from the first three games. It's not awful, but
especially if one of those games is against Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But if they lose this today, it's going to be 2 points from 4.
Yeah, and then they'll have the work cut out.
Yeah, the Yachtuk getting a challenging on Steve McManaman, who's getting a start on the left for Madrid. I'm sure Madrid will be asking McManaman just to do his usual role, sitting in there, keep the ball moving.
Yeah, keep the ball moving, try and link as well as he can with teammates all over the left-hand side and the centre of the pitch. And not really be an out-and-out winger as such, because as I said, I mean, Roberto Carlos really keeps that wing to himself and does everything. McManaman will be asked to support him rather than carry the attacking thrust.
There's Mornar, who's caught offside, the big striker, former Sevilla striker. He's got some experience in Spain. Although some of that experience was in the Spanish second division. Van der Haga will be in that central midfield role. This is a positive start from Anderlecht. Here's Yachtuk getting into the area. Yachtuk, but that's an excellent recovery challenge.
From Pavon, wasn't it, I think? Very, very well indeed.
Once again, Dindain just dropping deep, but it is Pavon does really, really well there. Just maybe gets shown a bit too much of the ball there by Yachtuk, but
there's a great pass as well from Baseggio.
And there Cesar comes out, makes an excellent claim on the edge of his area. They will present a bit more of an aerial threat this time, Anderlecht, with Mornar in there from set pieces. And Vicente del Bosque on the Madrid dugout. And there the Anderlecht captain Van der Haga, who earned himself a booking in the Bernabeu a couple of weeks ago and could easily have picked up a couple more cards. He certainly didn't hold back. As Luis Figo looking to cut inside. Good run from Figo, just took it a little bit too far. And it was Van der Haga who got across. Ball speared forward, aimed at Illich, and Cesar, out of his area, just shepherded that one out for a goal kick. The thing about trips to Belgium is there's always an excellent atmosphere in the ground. Yeah, there is. I mean, the stadium holds 22,000. It's only very, very fractionally short of that tonight. I'm sure there's very, very few spare seats, perhaps 50 or 60 if that. It looks very full, and it's a lot of noise. At the constant Vandenstock Stadium. As Luis Figo then, and the fans not very impressed, and Haga not at all impressed. Let's have a look. Makes a little push at him, doesn't he? Not the strongest of contacts, but he puts his arm out and just gives him a little nudge on the shoulder. So there's definitely a hand there, isn't there? So what looked just as interesting is how the pitch seemed to, the big divot that came up as Figo went over that. Well, because I mean it looks very good, but if it's going to cut up, it won't be good very soon. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully that's just a one-off. And there's Salgado pressed by Dindane, who was probably the main performer for Anderlecht. They lost 4-1, but he actually put Anderlecht in the lead and looked very lively. Yeah, particularly in the first, not just the first half, but especially the opening half an hour. He was very, very dangerous, and Madrid really struggled to get hold of him. A striker from the Ivory Coast. Second half they actually made him play more out on the right, and he just lost a little bit of his threat there. Today I'm sure Anderlecht will be looking for him to just play off Mornar. Makalele. That one's cut out. And here is Dindane, once again turning his man again. Looks very pacey. Makalele getting back, doing a good job though, and there Pavon puts the foot in, but the offside flag is up on the far side, and once again Mornar, the big Croatian, just straying where he shouldn't do. As Guti once again being asked to act as an auxiliary striker to support Raúl. Roberto Carlos. Guti's fulfilled that role a lot this year, hasn't he? He's playing up alongside Raúl. When you wonder if Morientes on the side, Vicente del Bosque presumably preferring Guti's. I mean, Guti has much more ability to play than Morientes. He gets much more involved in the game. He uses the ball well. He sees passes very, very well. Morientes is more of an old-fashioned style centre forward. Salgado going through on Dindane perhaps, but the referee playing on, and there Figo's cross took a wicked deflection, and I think De Wilde was in real trouble there if that had been on target. Yeah, De Wilde was in real trouble. It dipped very, very sharply. I think it was Illich, and whoa, that really was dropping like a stone, and another couple of feet forward, and I think De Wilde would have been able to do nothing about that. As it is, it's a corner for Real Madrid. On 6 minutes here in Anderlecht, or in Brussels. It's a good claim by De Wilde, who in the Bernabeu made a lot of good saves, but did also look a little bit he was erratic, wasn't he? Didn't he? Yeah. As you say, he made 2 or 3 very, very good saves indeed, but there were occasions where he looked a little ropey. There was Raúl just working deep, keeping things moving. Figo over on the left. That's the thing with Figo and McManaman. There is McManaman just popping up, but they will be able to swap wings. Guti into McManaman. First touch, just letting the Englishman down a little bit there. So we've had 7 minutes gone in the Anderlecht Stadium, and it's still the home side 0, Real Madrid 0. It's Traore. Good challenge from Roberto Carlos, and Figo keeps the ball in. Krassen. He's playing as a sweeper today, but he was right back 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's powerful, very, very strong. Speaking of which,
Mornar. Just giving a little push there. What is also strange, just isn't those people singing, the Belgian fans all chanting in English. Yeah. We're by far the greatest team, I think I heard there.
Which obviously is a little bit of a lie, but...
The greatest team in Belgium, although I suppose Bruges fans would dispute that one.
Yeah, although historically Anderlecht are Belgium's most successful side.
So McManaman in the middle, that's unlucky there, an intelligent pass just looking for Raúl, who peeled away, trying to open up the pitch. And once again, Vicente Del Bosque keeping a keen eye on proceedings.
Anderlecht have won 26 league championships, so I think even Bruges will struggle to get near that. Never won the European Cup though. 2 UEFA Cup Winners' Cups and 1 UEFA Cup.
Which isn't bad going, considering...
well, considering the relative strength of the Belgian league, yeah, it's a very good record.
Just a little impasse in the play as Hendricks prepares to take the free kick. Curls that one in there for Mornar to challenge and goes all the way through. It's likely to be a pretty bruising night for the Madrid central defenders. McManaman working deep. It's the ball to Salgado. And here's Figo taking on Hendricks. And earning a... Is that a corner for Madrid?
I think, yeah.
Corner which he takes quickly. Good thinking from McManaman, just coming short. Offers Figo the option, that hits something on the way through and is cleared for once again a corner, knocking the flag off even.
Yeah, I think it Nassi, it hit on the way through. Figo a little bit slow to put the ball over actually.
About 10 minutes here in the Constant van den Stok Stadium. It's still Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 0. Figo. That's a decent corner in there, and that was not far away. Pavon getting forward.
Pavon it's quite interesting actually. Pavon one of only 2 men right in there for Madrid. I mean, you look at that area, that was just Guti and Pavon. No one else even in shot as that ball went past. Surprising that Madrid aren't committing more men at corners. It's a good leap though from Pavon.
Perhaps not the tallest team around Real Madrid. If you look at the side, actually, you've got Makelele and Celades who are not tall in the middle. McManaman was tall, but he's not particularly powerful in the air.
No, I think McManaman would be the first to admit that.
And at the moment, I think Madrid will keep Fernando Hierro back just to organise the midfield, the defence. So there isn't really a lot of height available there for Madrid.
No, there isn't a huge amount, and of course with Morientes on the bench, even more so.
But just starting to play a little bit of football, the visitors. Here's Celades knocking it forward. And Salgado storming into the area, holds off the challenge of Ilic. Back with Luis Figo. It's a poor cross with his left foot, but Dindane's control was equally slack. McManaman just picks things up. Gives it to Roberto Carlos. And it's start over for Madrid. Here's Michel Salgado. Makelele threads it to McManaman. Guti just trying to do a little bit too much, got caught by Krassen. And there's the long ball for Mornar to chase. Gave Hierro a run for his money there, but pressuring the Madrid captain, who did well to recover, to only concede a throw-in.
Yeah, Hierro's not the quickest, and I think there will be times that Anderlecht will look to make that pass 2 or 3 times more. They'll go down that channel. They'll try and get Hierro isolated and try and get the pace to get away from him. But as you say, Hierro recovered pretty well there.
Hendricks to take the throw-in. Mornar gets up well. Salad is able to clear. There's Hassi. Madrid doing well, forcing Anderlecht to send it back. Just chipped forward by Krassen. Pavon
He's a little lucky there, wasn't he?
Didn't get a great contact in, but just enough to take it away from Mornar, and it's Makelele to collect it. Just thinking about that, seeing how Hierro struggled against Mornar, I wonder if Anderlecht shouldn't be trying to get Dindane into that channel a bit more than the big Croatian.
Yeah, because Dindane's even quicker. But I think Hierro's the one that's tracking Mornar now, and so then we'll be following him across.
Stellades sliding the ball through to Makelele. It's Claude Makelele again, and Salades just lets him down a little bit there.
Yeah, it does, although Madrid have looked reasonably confident in terms of they've got good possession there, and they're using the ball nicely. Looking very neat and tidy, aren't they?
Very tidy they're looking. Van der Haag just losing out, and there's the ball with Traoré. He's putting himself under pressure. Gets the ball back to De Wilde. Hassi along the line. There Pavon just being outfoxed by Mornar. Roberto Carlos getting across. That's a good cross ball in there, and Cesar comes to the edge of his area. Makes an excellent claim.
Makes a very good claim. And Mornar is looking like he's going to drop off from the middle to both sides. Good delivery as well.
I think it was Yacht took in the middle, but Cesar came out and made an excellent claim. It's a good run from Figo. Just got away from him, allowing Traoré to nip in. And there Ilic clearing to Yacht. Once again, Mornar in that left-hand channel. Once again, he's got a bit of space off Pavon there, and Dindane's gone down. Referee had a good look at it, decides there's absolutely no action that needs to be taken. That time Hierro getting a good clearance on it, just bouncing badly for Pavon, and once again he's got to deal with Mornar.
And a fairly unsubtle challenge.
Yeah. There's a saying in Spain, there's two, you get 2 but you don't get 3, and there Pavon making sure that Mornar wasn't going to get past him a third time. 15 minutes here in the Constant van der Stok Stadium. It's Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 0.
Mornar was fairly happy to get the free kick to take the pressure off, but it was a
little bit rash.
Pretty clumsy challenge, yeah.
Once again, the ball curled in there and just evading everybody, and Traoré couldn't get the contact on it he was looking for.
Yeah, it curled in there, and it just drifted slightly away from Fernando Hierro's head.
You can just see him going in behind Yacht, and there.
Oh, I tell you what, if Hierro well, he did miss it. If Traoré had been more alert to Hierro missing it, he might well have scored there. If he'd been aware that it was going to drop.
Just put him off, didn't he? Hierro,
well, I think he thought, yeah, exactly. I think Traoré thought that Hierro was going to get there.
But they worked it well there, the two. There's Yacht and Traoré going behind him, just slightly sheltered from the defence, and worked it nicely there, Anderlecht. Roberto Carlos again looks up, hits a long pass looking for Luis Figo, who jumps there with Baseggio. It's been a lively opening to the game, both sides having little spells of pressure. And there's Figo doing well, just twisting and turning, and that feeds the ball inside for Riach to commit the foul, which Madrid take quickly. Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, Madrid are content to keep the ball. They're using it quite nicely. They're slick. The passing's good. They won't panic. You know, they've been caught a couple of times, not quite alert, but they won't panic about that. They just keep moving the ball and just try and get a really good, strong foothold on this game.
It's McManaman back in the left-hand channel. Steve McManaman. It's the ball back to Roberto Carlos, who half slips and just allows Hassi to stick a foot in. It's a lovely dummy from Raul, and an excellent return pass. It nearly worked out there. Guti and Raul combining, and Traore just sticks out a long leg to deny the Madrid number 7.
Yeah, it was a very nice little interchange between Raul and Guti.
Some more defending for De Wilde. Madrid taking it quickly. Figo knocking across to Roberto Carlos, thinks about firing that one in, and that is good thinking from, well, I think the goal's got to go down to Raul. He just stuck a little foot out there.
Yeah, he nudged it enough to get it away from De Wilde. I'm not 100% sure how deliberate it is in terms of where the ball ends up, but Raul certainly is trying to get enough of a touch on it just to nudge it goalwards.
It's been given to Raul. I think it's got to, because it's a well-worked move. They find Roberto Carlos with a little bit of space, quite a lot of space, hits it well, Roberto Carlos, but I think De Wilde would have had that, and Raul's just sticks out a leg, which takes it past De Wilde. So, 19 minutes here in the constant Van der Stok Stadium. It's Real Madrid winning by 1-0, and that goal is scored by, actually it looks better when you see it like that.
It looks more deliberate like that, doesn't it? And
certainly does.
I think it may also get a touch off Illich, and De Wilde's completely shot by it.
Well, there's nothing a keeper can do there. But a well-worked corner, because we were saying they're not big in the penalty area, and they worked it nicely. McManaman and Figo between them, and here come Madrid again. Can they finish it off? Raul just hooking that volley slightly.
Well, Raul managed to make it go backwards, didn't he? It was almost a great pass for Luis Figo,
who shot thundered off a defender. It's Makalele. Madrid looking to make that advantage count now. 1-0 up. Roberto Carlos again thundering that shot in and causing problems for the Anderlecht defence.
Well, Roberto Carlos does cause a lot of problems with that. Well, you wouldn't call it a cross, really. It's a diagonal ball into the box, very, very hard and very flat, which he plays from an area anywhere between 5 and 15 or even 20 yards outside the area on the left-hand side. And not just tonight, but on numerous occasions we've seen it cause problems, particularly with Raul, who as strikers go, he's one of the most alert and one of the cleverest.
And he likes to pull into that near post, doesn't he? Exactly. Where a little touch will take it across the face of goal or into the goal in that case. And of course, danger that Roberto Carlos cross shot is that it's hit so hard that sometimes fools defenders who slice the clearances.
Quite often all it needs is a touch. It doesn't necessarily need to be a striker. It just needs a touch, and it's in the back of the net.
Because the keeper, the speed it travels, the keeper could do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because it completely removes any reaction time and the ability to change direction or to throw out an arm or
anything.
It just leaves him completely sold.
So 21 minutes here in Belgium, and it is Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 1, with that goal scored by Raul. Exactly what Real Madrid would have been looking for. As Mona once again taking on Pavon. He's had a little bit of joy against the young defender so far along this side, and here he is again. Once again gets the cross in.
He has got good crosses in 2 or 3 times, and there just hasn't been anyone on the end of it. There isn't really a presence in the box at the moment.
I mean, he is normally the big presence in the box for Anderlecht, Mona, but you'd think that Dindane would be looking to get in there, the number 26.
Well, Dindane is sort of floating a little bit leftwards, and Yachtug's the one that you might expect to get in there, but he hasn't done it either. And as you say, when the presence in the box is the guy delivering the cross, it does make life kind of hard. It's
good reflexes from Raul though on the goal. Makalele. So Madrid looking set to book their ticket or their place in the next round. Roberto Carlos. It's again good movement from Raúl. Ball dropping for Figo. He's got Salgado on the overlap, looking for the fullback, but just a little bit too fast for Mitchell Salgado there, the Anderlecht defence. Makalele, as he so often does there, to make the interception. McManaman, always able to just lend a helping hand there to his teammates. Nothing too spectacular, but just keeps it moving. And there's Celades. Monar battling back, just bundling Celades over. It's a lovely pass from Roberto Carlos. It's good controlled football from Real Madrid. Yeah,
they've looked very, very comfortable on the ball. They've fused the ball very nicely there. It's slick, it's quite fast, it's assured. And for an away performance, it's exactly what you need.
De Wilde. Dindain controlling on his chest as well. Aruna Dindain. Hassi. Baseggio. That's a little bit better from Anderlecht. Once again, Dindain making some good movement. That final ball, just letting Anderlecht down. I think that, of course, is going to be one of the big differences tonight, of course. You know, Anderlecht, they're a good, the best team in Belgium, as we were saying, by a long way. They're a good physical side, but the difference in class, especially in that final delivery, is quite likely to be a major factor in the result tonight.
Yeah, and I think we saw at the Santiago Bernabéu that Anderlecht had a very, very strong start, indeed, and could have been 2 goals up, possibly even 3, you know, but Madrid just, they eased their way into the game and they just started carving open chances, and by the end Madrid had just carved them open time and time again. It could have been 7 or 8.
Oh, it was 4-1, and you said De Wilde was the standout performer. Yeah. Had a couple of dodgy moments on crosses, but you couldn't say any of the goals.
He made good saves, didn't he, as well?
Made a lot of good saves. And at the moment, it's Madrid who have had the good start, which would be a little bit worrying for Anderlecht. Ilic gives it back to Krasen. Just had 25 minutes here in Brussels. It's Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 1. Roberto Carlos shot, which was fired in and just deflected home by Raúl on the near post. Here's Hendricks. Looking to carve out a shooting chance. Not a bad effort, but a little bit too high.
Yep. Coming in on his right foot, looked happier. But as you say, I mean, he's hit the ball pretty hard, but it was always
rising, isn't it? Yeah. Mark Hendricks. And once again, Madrid just looked to have so much time on the ball. And there, Figo, so close to setting up the second goal for Raúl. And there, just McManaman intelligently sending the ball inside. Maybe just a little bit too elaborate there, Madrid.
Yeah, I think both McManaman and Guti were both guilty of trying to do perhaps a little too much. When it came to McManaman, I think a lot of players would have just hit that first time. Then he tried to give it to Guti. Guti, I think McManaman may have played it very slightly behind Guti. Guti tried to let it run and ended up losing it. And I think between the two of them, they're perhaps guilty of overplaying a little.
As it was an acrobatic clearance. I think it was Traore who cut out Figo's original cross.
Good clearance, very good clearance.
There, Pavón recovers to prevent a corner. He certainly is the one who seems to have got the short straw tonight, battling against Monar. It is Aruna Dindain. And Hassi. Once again, Anderlecht looking to get the ball in there quickly. And that was a little bit optimistic.
Yeah, and it was worth a try because of the way it's sat up. But Baseggio just couldn't really get over it enough, and And as soon as it had hit his foot, you knew it was going to end up way up in the stands.
Pavón out to Mitchell Salgado. Makaleli just controls it, keeps it moving. Here's Salades, Guti, and Roberto Carlos. So again, Guti coming short. And McManaman, a little bit loose there from Steve McManaman. It allows Mornar to get the interception in. This is better from Anderlecht, looking to break quickly. It's Hendricks to Dindane, but that ball just a little bit asked a bit too much of his striker, Aruna Dindane, and Fernando Hierro quite happy to see it out for a goal kick.
Vicente Bosco won't be too unhappy with what I've seen so far, although Mornar has caused Madrid a few problems with it. His running's been good down the channels, he's been big and strong when he's come to receive the ball, he's held it well. But Madrid, when they have had the ball, they've
very in control, haven't they?
They look very comfortable indeed.
There's Luis Figo. That's what they're doing, they're just moving those 5-6 yard passes, 1, 2, 3. Just gaining time and space. Manaman sends it to Roberto Carlos and just goes short to receive. Looks inside, good play from Real Madrid. There's Salades to Figo, and they're just advancing Madrid, and then you feel that when they get to the edge of the box, they just hit that extra gear. Although that time didn't quite work out from Raúl, but Salades working hard, and Madrid already starting to draw a few whistles of impatience from the Anderlecht crowd. Roberto Carlos to McManaman. Gets the ball across McManaman, cut out by, I think that was Illich who got across. Pavón did very well there against
How
Mornar.
easily Madrid are keeping the possession though.
Well, exactly, that's the big thing. And I think what Belgian sides are used to is, because there are more long ball tactics. As Raúl looks to turn, gets a shot, got another deflection, and that's a corner for Madrid. Because the Belgian sides do play more long ball tactics, that they're all used to getting a bit more possession, since they ricochet around a bit more.
Yeah.
More work for De Wilde. Madrid once again taking it short. And once again working a shooting opportunity. This time it was Celades.
Yeah, and they're well advised to do that, because as you've already said, they don't really have the height in the area, but they do have people who can, well, I was about to say who can shoot from the edge of the box. It's not the greatest shot from Celades, but they do have people who can work the space. So if they can play short and find the space and the time to deliver an accurate cross, then Real Madrid are well advised to go for short corners.
Had a half an hour gone. It's Real Madrid winning 1-0 thanks to that Raúl goal on 19 minutes. And they're looking pretty good value for it, to be fair.
Yeah, they look comfortable, don't they?
Just look completely in control. And of course, having beaten Anderlecht 4-1 in the first meeting, there's also a big psychological advantage.
Yeah, they've got the confidence to just stroll around, to play the ball, to keep it under control, and to think to themselves, well, the chances will come, and basically, not to put too fine a point on it, they think to themselves, we've got the beating of this lot.
And there's Mornar in a little bit of trouble there on the touchline. I'm sure they won't want to see him coming off. He's the one most likely to so far for Anderlecht. There's Van den Bergen. And it's with Hendricks. He's found Dindane. Aruna Dindane just shows that little yard of pace, and that's a good cross from Cesar. A full stretch to palm it away.
Yeah, very unusual hand that he got out, didn't he? It seemed to come from nowhere, but it's a very good hand from Cesar.
And now it could be setting Madrid up on the break. Roberto Carlos storming forward. Got Makaleli in the middle. That's a lovely flick from Makaleli. Here's Guti into the area, turning once. Makaleli. Krassen just getting a foot in though, but Madrid turning defence into attack in a question of seconds. Makaleli, lovely dummy, and there.
Well, it was a nice dummy. It's very unusual to see Makaleli up there.
Does well, doesn't he, Dindane here? Once again, he looked threatening a couple of weeks ago. And that has Cesar at full stretch.
It was a strange sort of hand. It was almost as if he was going up to just to tip a rebound in basketball or something, the way he stretched up for that. But it was an important hand.
Here come Madrid again, though. Raul trying the dummy this time. And Makalele in a deeper position just spreads that ball out to Roberto Carlos. Good work from Roberto Carlos. The ball nearly dropping there, and Van der Wilde choosing to shoot, to clear with his feet. I'm sure he probably could have gone into that with his hand, but didn't.
I thought he had time, exactly.
I don't think he wanted to risk conceding a free kick for a back pass, but it looked like more like an interception. Of course, you can never quite be sure what the referee is going to give. Roberto Carlos thinks about hitting another one. That one just wasn't that far away from Raul.
No, it wasn't that far away from Raul. As you say, he went for about hitting. I don't think there's any doubt that he was trying to shoot, but then having opened his body up, it wasn't a million miles away from Raul. Lovely little step overs there from the Brazilian fullback. Once again, we've seen more of him in attack than we have in defence so far. Such has been Madrid's control of the game. Makalele. Figo just bundled off the ball there, and here's Dindane, but he didn't control it. He was thinking about what he was going to do before he had the ball under control. He's done well there. Makalele. Celades. Roberto Carlos again. So every time they've got the ball, Madrid, they've just moved it around, kept possession, found space. Here's McManaman, got Traore with him. Well, I think there's 14 or 15 passes already.
Was probing away against Anderlecht. And they just don't look in danger of losing the ball, Real Madrid.
No.
Excellent display of controlled football, and I'm surprised that possession's only 61%. I'm sure to the Anderlecht midfield it seems like a whole lot more, and here they come, Madrid, now at the edge of the area. It's a lovely move. Salgado got the effort under McManaman.
Well, what a
Steve
McManaman!
Absolutely rifled that past De Wilde.
That is a superb goal. It really is a great goal. I mean, it's a good finish in the end. It's just a tiny bit of a shame that the finish came from a slight deflection at the end, because the move was Real Madrid must have had the ball for a minute and a half. They must have put together 25, 30 passes. It's just, and that's a lovely little flick. It's just a terrible shame from his point of view that there's a little deflection from McManaman.
I'll tell you what, if it hadn't,
it's a great finish.
I think if it hadn't got a little deflection, it would have been either Figo or Raul scoring in the centre. But what a decisive shot from Steve McManaman with the outside of his foot.
Thumped into the net, and it's a great move from Real Madrid. And it was the move really that's reflected everything they've been in these first this opening 35 minutes. They've kept the ball, they've moved it, they've progressed, they've got themselves into dangerous positions. That's the first time they've been that decisive in terms of carving Anderlecht open, but they just never, as you said during the move, they never looked like losing the ball. They went all the way back a couple of times, swung the ball open to the wings, opened the play up, moved it, just kept moving it around, and in the end, great finish from McManaman.
It's the sort of move, though, if you're the opposition, it must do real damage to your morale, because they've struggled to get the ball Anderlecht all game.
Yes.
And to know that your opponents are capable of just carving you up like that and finishing it as well, it must be worrying for them for the second half, because Madrid are looking very superior. I mean, but bear in mind that when they won 4-1 a couple of weeks ago, they didn't score. They went in losing 1-0 at half-time.
Yeah.
Here there's 10 minutes, 9 minutes to go, and they're already winning 2-0. Now,
and they're very good value for it.
The question is, will Madrid settle for 2-0, knowing that it'll put them into the next phase, or will they go out and send a statement to the rest of the competition?
Well, I think it may turn out not to be quite so simple as that, in so much as I think what Madrid will do is keep doing what they've done so far.
Here's Raul. Could it be 3, Raul? Well,
should have been 3.
Should have been 3, really. Raul Gonzalez found acres of space there. Once again, went for the chip, but just simple pass from Celades, and Raul takes it in his stride.
Should have gone right-footed there, shouldn't he?
Maybe just waiting for that ball to go cross him a little bit quicker.
Well, he wanted it on his left, and you're right, he wanted it there quicker. But I think if he'd taken that with his right foot, he'd have scored.
Well, I mean, just another example of how Madrid are dominating this game.
Well, and also another example of what was going to be my answer to your question, which was how Madrid will approach it. I don't think they'll approach it any differently from how they have now. I don't think it's really a case of sending out a message or settling. I think it's a case of just moving the ball and carrying on moving it. Because they're 2-0 out, 2-0 up, without ever having really gone for the throat. What they've done is just keep the ball, keep the ball, keep the ball. Then if the chance comes, great, take it. And I think that's what they're going to keep doing.
Here's Salgado. Trying to curl the ball into the penalty area. It's cut out by Ilic. Plays a dangerous ball across his own penalty area. Got out of that one quite well, but there. Celades in to make the interception. 38 minutes here in Brussels. It's Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 2. The goal scored by Raúl and Steve McManaman. And to be fair, Raúl had his shooting boots on. Could have been 3-0.
Yeah, very definitely. And that early little threat that Anderlecht seemed to carry, and with Mordenar particularly earlier on, it's gone away a little bit. I mean, Mordenar still
working hard.
He's working hard, and he'll look dangerous as he drops the wing, and you wonder about Dindane, whether his pace may cause a few more problems. But Madrid, more than anything else, if I think one word sums up this half for Madrid, it would be comfortable.
And there, Cesar, that wasn't a comfortable claim, but every time he's been asked to get to the ball, he's done very well. Yeah. He was stretched on one cross, but he got an excellent hand up. And there, Roberto Carlos just knocking it back. Pavón to Celades, out to Salgado. Acres of space for Real Madrid. Very comfortable first 45 minutes for Vicente del Bosque's side, and now Figo just finds the extra yard, but De Vilda able to catch that cross. Here's Dindane. Pavón, though, getting a good challenge in, and Dindane furious at not getting the throw in.
He was furious, wasn't he? I think he was a little bit unlucky, Aruna Dindane, in so much as he was very, very close to the microphone, and perhaps it sounded a little bit more furious than it might otherwise have been, but he was certainly pretty angry about that.
But Pavón, he struggled on two or three times with Mordenar, but all of a sudden he started to time those tackles a bit better. Makalele has gone all the way back. And it's Pavón. Madrid just in total control, and to be fair, Anderlecht hardly pressuring upfield, which is what they did do quite well in Madrid.
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos, he's probably got the legs to get here. Calls De Vilda out a long way. Well,
there was only one player in the world that from that position could have forced De Vilda to come off the line, and it's Roberto Carlos. It's absolutely ludicrous that a fullback can get the ball there and still force a goalkeeper to come and make a claim. And all right, in the end, Roberto Carlos is some distance away from it, but most players wouldn't even bother chasing him.
No. To be fair, De Vilda was alert to the situation to be that far out.
Much more so than
much more so than Traore, who seemed to be lumbering across.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe he's just being a little bit shell-shocked. The Anderlecht centre-half didn't have the pleasure of playing in the first game in the Bernabeu, and it's not been easy for Anderlecht in these first 41 minutes of the game.
No, really, Krassen there looked completely bewildered as well, didn't he?
And you wonder whether in the second half whether they may consider going back to a more traditional 4-4-2. Possibly, because they've been absolutely outnumbered where it's really mattered. They may well have had. I mean, this is part of the thing, is that they may well have had three men at the back there: Traore, Krassen, Ilic. But they've been powerless to stop Madrid moving the ball in front of them. And then, of course, Madrid move the ball in front of them and come up with such ease and such fluidity. But then they've been suddenly, when they've been around the penalty area around Madrid, they've had 3 or 4 men in support, and they've been able to ease the way through. Hendricks easily cut out by Fernando Hierro, and here come Madrid again. Luis Figo to Makalele. Hassi given away though. To Raúl, he's got McManaman with him. decides instead to give it to Roberto Carlos, who now picks out McManaman, scorer of Madrid's second goal on 34 minutes. A crisp right foot shot. Neat work from Celades. Carried on his run, and McManaman, well, he got it back from Traore. Makalele. Fernando Hierro.
So this is indicative of what we're saying, is that Madrid don't need to go looking for the goal. They just need to go looking for the ball, and that's what they're doing. They just concern themselves with keeping the ball, knowing that chances will eventually, present themselves. And that was just
the great thing is that the players
strollingly easy from McManaman. There wasn't just a step over the ball, let it run.
They're just changing position. There, McManaman swapped with Celades. Figo drops inside. Raul pulls deep. It's just so easy. They're all moving around, and it makes me think of almost a total football that, for example, the Barcelona dream team played in the early 90s. It's just so easy for Real Madrid. And everybody just knows exactly what they're doing, which is going to be more than can be said for the Anderlecht defence there. That was a nervous moment, I'm sure, for De Vilde. Once again, Madrid just men on the overlap. As it is Figo stepping into the area, and another shot deflected wide for a corner.
Yeah, I think it's Traore that deflected it, but that again is what Madrid have been doing. They've just been carrying the ball forward collectively, moving it around, and then suddenly it opens out to Figo. He's only 5 yards outside the area. There's no one anywhere near him.
And it was a nightmare for the defender in front of him because Salgado had made the overlap.
Yeah. Figo could just run into it, get a shot off, a little bit unlucky to get it deflected.
Here he is again. Whoops, Makalele just slicing that one. Hendricks.
Mind you, if Makalele made a mess of it,
also making
Hendricks was even worse.
I'm sure there's a minute to go. I'm sure Anderlecht will be very, very grateful for the half-time whistle to go. Look at that, playing at home. 7 corners for Real Madrid, 1 for Anderlecht.
Yeah.
There's Mornar.
And again, Madrid have taken a corner with virtually no one in the area. It's quite strange.
But they've collected outside the area, Roberto Carlos.
They've done that consistently as well.
Makalele. Picking out Guti. It's Figo inside. This time it's intercepted by Yachtuk. Here he is again. But Madrid getting back quickly as well.
Well, that's the advantage of keeping good possession, is that everyone's still in the right place, that everything's still under control. It's not just about being there waiting, it's that the whole side is already just ready for everything.
Throw in for Anderlecht. One last chance for them to put a bit of pressure on Madrid. And that's something that has surprised me, how little pressure they've put Madrid under, being at home.
Well, and the crowd's gone very, very quiet. Most of the crowd we can hear now that are the few Madrid fans that are in the stadium.
Hendricks trying to cross that one, but easy for Cesar, just able to watch it out for a goal kick. We're into injury time. The referee's only given 27 seconds, and there is the half-time whistle. Referee drawing to a close what has been a very, very professional first half from Real Madrid. They've been in complete control from virtually the start. Raul putting them ahead with a bit of neat thinking, deflecting home Roberto Carlos' shot from outside the area on 19 minutes. And on 34 minutes, Steve McManaman putting the finishing touch onto an excellent team move. Madrid moved it, kept the ball for about a minute. McManaman put a right foot shot in, 2-0. We'll be back soon for the second half. Hello and welcome back to the Constant van den Stock Stadium in Brussels for the second half of this Champions League clash between Anderlecht and Real Madrid. And Anderlecht forced into a half-time substitution with El Said replacing number 10, Baseggio. Baseggio's been virtually anonymous in this first 45 minutes as Anderlecht have really struggled to cope with what has been an excellent, a really assured, polished Real Madrid performance. Madrid leading 2-0 at the break. Goals scored on 19 minutes by Raul and on 34 minutes by Steve McManaman.
Yeah, Real Madrid have just looked comfortable from the start. They've used the ball very well. They've kept the ball extraordinarily well. Everything has been completely under control for Real Madrid, pretty much, apart from perhaps the opening 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, Mornar, the big Croatian striker gave Francisco Pavon a few problems when he pulled him out wide to the right early on, but since then Madrid have just got a complete grip on things, and the question is how many goals in fact they can put past Anderlecht, because it's just been so dominant, the control from Real Madrid. However, here's Dindain, but the defending to do. Aruna Dindain, whose pace has threatened to cause Madrid some problems. Yeah,
there was one very, very good turn he produced very early in the first half, going down the left-hand side turn and got away. But he really hasn't seen enough of the ball, and you need to have players like that getting hold of the ball, going at people, making things happen, and going down the two channels. It just has not happened for Anderlecht. Real Madrid have looked comfortable all the way.
They've just given a real lesson the first 45 minutes in controlled football. Here's Dindain again.
What Anderlecht need to do is they need to pull the entire side forward, push everything up, put pressure on Real Madrid, because Madrid haven't even been pressured, and make sure that they don't get the time to play the football. And that looked like a dive to me.
It is indeed, and I think the referee thinks the same way.
It's Traore, isn't it?
Aruna Dindain getting the first booking of the night.
It was. I think he's grinning. I think he knows. I think he knows that was a dive.
46 minutes for. Let's have a look at this one. Well, I mean, he's not even near him, is he? That
is an absolutely awful dive.
Dear oh dear.
Well, Aruna Dindain should be ashamed of himself. Not necessarily for diving, but for diving so badly.
The thing is, it skipped past Makelele and he had the shooting chance.
There's absolutely no point in that, was there?
Dear oh dear. What was going through his mind when he decided to do that? I just can't even imagine.
Well, I'm glad as well that he's been booked. I think that's pleasing to see. It was one of the worst dives I've ever seen in my life.
There's Van der Haga just dispossessing Figo, but once again Madrid recovering possession very quickly. What was one of the key factors in the first half is the way the Madrid players, especially McManaman, Figo, Raúl, Makelele and Stelladis, all were able to swap positions almost with ease, and there were lots of little dummies, lots of short passes, and they just kept possession brilliantly well.
Yeah, the ability to support one another in positions that weren't always their own, fill spaces that they needed to fill, rather than maintain their own position, if you like, while at the same time maintaining, as a unit at least, maintaining shape.
Exactly, as El Said is giving the ball to Dindain. Kept to his feet that time, gives it back to Ilic. And it's now across to Traore.
You wonder if someone somewhere has got like a voodoo doll of Dindain and just threw him to the floor. It was just a terrible dive with no one anywhere near him.
He didn't even, I don't know, he just was so far away from Makelele.
There wasn't a challenge or anything, was there?
I mean, I suppose he might have thought with the angle may have made it look a little bit closer for the referee, but any referee who gave a penalty for that would have needed a serious visit to the opticians.
Yeah, he certainly would have done.
Hierro just playing the ball out to McManaman. Traore getting himself into trouble, and Van der Haga clearing things up. Back to Krassen. That's Hassi to El Said. Hendricks, didn't see much of Hendricks in the first half. Here he is though, attacking Salgado, trying to pull the ball back onto his favourite right foot. He did that on a couple of occasions actually. Just tried to get in there and get the shot in, and there Hiach took running too long with the shot. Still a little bit more positive from Anderlecht.
Yeah, and territorially it's very important that they squeeze space to deny Madrid the ability to pass the ball. And they're doing that a little bit. They're just pushing forward in greater numbers, which is important. It's no good just a couple of guys running at Madrid.
El Said trying his luck. Tarek El Said. And we also came on as a substitute in the Bernabeu a couple of weeks ago, as Anderlecht received a 4-1 hammering from Madrid, and they must be going through their mind that in that game it was they were winning 1-0 at the break.
Yeah.
But today they've gone in 2-0 down.
So Tarek El Said came on when it was already done and dusted. Didn't have much impact.
Luis Figo looks up, chips the ball across, a lovely cross, but Krassen was there. playing as a sweeper today. Nice turn from Hassi. And there's Hendrik again. Yachtuk and Dindain getting into the penalty area. Aruna Dindain, but this time Mitchell Salgado sticking out the foot. Got the crowd going a bit there, this spell of pressure. El Said, that's a good cross, and Monar and Traore. I wonder, good move from Anderlecht, good ball put in there. I wonder if Monar shouldn't have gone for that with his head.
Well,
let's have a look at this again.
Possibly. I mean, it's quite a long way from anyway. He may not have reached it with his head either. He clearly thought his foot was the better option, but yeah, could have done, as you say, Traore on the far post. Well, much better start from Anderlecht. They've looked bright. They've started to press on a little bit, and given at least Madrid
something to think about.
Something to think about. Made them a little bit less comfortable, and also given the fans a reason to start making some noise again, because they had gone very quiet. By the end of the first half, you could hear the Madrid fans, of which there's not more than 500 or 600, if that. And
Belgian fans are known normally for really raising a good atmosphere in their ground. You know, they may not be the most powerful league in the world, but the supporters really get behind the teams, make a lot of noise. Very similar almost to English grounds, the atmosphere, but as you can say, you could almost hear a pin drop after 45 minutes. Such was Madrid's dominance in this game. As it was just 7 minutes, the second half gone.
I think part of that silence, was kind of almost reverential. It was almost in awe of the way Madrid were playing, wasn't it? It was sort of, you can almost sort of sense the fans sitting back and going, "Whoa, my God, I've never seen anything quite like this."
This is another world of football. Here's Monar again, just got a little bit of space. Plays in support, tried to pull it back to Yachtuk, and they got the ball back, and oh dear. Well, there was Yachtuk, and that certainly was from another world. Hendricks on his favourite right foot. That's a good ball in there, but that's an excellent header. Roberto Carlos, the smallest man on the field, getting up and just flicking that away as Van der Haga and Monar look to get on the end of it.
Yeah, and Traore again, so for having been one of the three centre-backs at the start, that is dreadful. Having been one of the three centre-backs at the start, Traore is now bombing up and down that right-hand side.
Playing more as a right-back, isn't he? Yeah. It's curled in there, and Cesar yet again making a confident claim.
And I tell you as well, not only is that an absolutely dreadful effort from Yachtuk, but also I thought his movement was really quite poor. In the move, we haven't seen the whole move. But he was one of two guys in the box alongside Dindain, I think, and both of them went to the 6-yard box, and it took Yachtuk a very long time to realise that he had to pull back to provide the space to offer the pass. And by the time he decided that, Claude Makélélé had seen it. Very disappointing. He's not looked particularly good. And when you consider that the threat that Ivica Monar and Dindain have offered, at least in patches, to Madrid, Yachtuk has been disappointing.
Virtually invisible for most of the game. That was a great clearing header from Roberto Carlos, considering he's the smallest player on the pitch. Well, maybe Dindain could give him a run for his money, but I don't think so. And he got up there between Monar and Van der Haga, who was lining up the header, and just flicked it away. Here's Monar again on the right. Possibly with his left foot this time, and that's a great header from Hierro.
Well, I think we're going to see a very different second half from the first half. Madrid would like to carry on the way they were, but Anderlecht are just making it difficult for them. They're pushing them right back.
As Hendricks might fancy the shot on his right foot, as it is. Got himself.
Makélélé did very well, didn't he?
In two minds, and Makélélé able to get the tackle in. It's astonishing how much possession Makélélé wins.
Yeah.
Went in with 2 feet there.
I thought they both did, but I must admit, I thought Makélélé went in first.
Krassen basically said to the referee, "Please book me."
Yes, that's exactly what you were saying to the referee, wasn't it? "Ref, there's a card in your pocket, it's yellow, would you like to get it out and wave it at me?" And the referee is really giving some back. I tell you, Krassen's a frightening bloke to be face to face with.
Have a look at this one. Well,
you see, I think that's both ways, but I think Makélélé goes first, to be honest.
The thing is, I think because Hassi goes in on the floor, that's what made the referee's mind up for him. But it could have gone either way. I
thought so.
Bertrand crossing little bit unfortunate. Well, no, he went and complained.
Yeah,
very clearly and very loud.
He wasn't unfortunate. He was unfortunate in so much as he might have had a point.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The way he complained, there's absolutely no way he was going to get anything other than a yellow card, except I suppose possibly
a red card.
Yeah.
Mitchell Salgado. There's McManaman just popping up on the right. Back with Salgado. Madrid will be grateful just to get the ball upfield for a short.
Yeah, just take some of the sting out of the game. Just try and keep the ball a little bit. And Krasson needs to be a little careful, because I'm sure the referee, having seen that little outburst, wouldn't mind putting another one out for him. Great pass.
Lots and lots of space. Oh, crikey! There's all sorts of challenges going in there, but in the end, Traore spectacularly clears it with an overhead kick.
Yeah, I wonder if Guti maybe should have turned the shot, but just tried to nudge it into Figo's path. Sold Figo a little short, didn't he?
It's nicely opened out for Traore. They have gone back to a more traditional 4-4-2, haven't they, Anderlecht?
Yes, they have.
With Dindane, that's just seems to be closing the gaps down a little bit better in midfield. And there El Said getting past McManaman, but McManaman recovered to get the tackle in. Salade just moving things along. Well, Krasson with the interception. Certainly more fired up for things this second half, Anderlecht. Hendrik, it's a poor ball though. Makalele. McManaman. And there's Guti. Salgado and Makalele. This is a little bit more what Madrid were doing in the first half, just keeping possession, drawing the sting out of Anderlecht. Once again, not doing anything particularly brilliant, but when you see it taken together, it's so effective. Got Salgado.
Nice idea from Salgado. Didn't come off, but it was a nice idea. There's a nice little flick from McManaman as well that sent Salgado away. But as you say, it's nothing massively clever in isolation, but as a unit, it's very, very impressive what Real Madrid have done tonight.
Looking a really well-oiled machine, Real Madrid. Here's that move again, yeah. Guti just shields it, and I wonder if he couldn't have thought, yeah, you're right, I wonder if he couldn't have thought about turning, and there Roberto Carlos tries to side foot the ball home. Which is
with his right foot, it's sort of
most unlike Roberto Carlos.
And it almost looked like he was messing around, didn't he? Him striking with his right foot, it all looked wrong somehow. As I say, A, because it was a side foot, and B, because it was a side foot with the other foot.
There's Figo. Once again, getting into the area, Luis Figo. Going down. Oof, that's a great challenge from Makalele.
Very good challenge from Makalele. Got some booing from the crowd because of it, but I think it was a clean challenge.
Let's have a look at this between Figo and Traore. He just puts half a leg across it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact. I think Figo is perhaps a little bit quick to go to ground, but there's definitely some contact there. There's definitely the beginnings of a foul, let's say. And Figo, I think made sure there was the ends of a foul as well.
There's Ilic. The ball just overhit for Mornar. Traore annoyed with himself for that.
As well he might be as well, because he had the space to have provided a more accurate pass than that.
Roberto Carlos taking his time over the throw-in because Madrid are making a substitution. It's Fernando Hierro is going off. Hands the captain's armband to Raúl.
Well, it's not a natural tactical substitution, so you can only assume that there's something slightly wrong with Hierro, although he appeared to raise his eyebrows there when he was asked. I think it was Figo who walked past, asked him why he was going. It appeared to raise his eyebrows as if to say, well, I don't know.
And he's been replaced by Ruben Gonzalez. So Madrid with a very inexperienced pair of central defenders. I wonder if I'd be surprised at 2-0 with Del Bosque with half an hour remaining. Now I know that the club do have a lot of faith in Ruben. But I'd be surprised if he thought now was the moment to give him 30 minutes.
Yeah, unless Hierro is suffering from some sort of knock. But Hierro's face going off seemed to be one more of confusion than anything else, as if he couldn't quite understand the decision.
Madrid are reasonably in control, but certainly Anderlecht have reacted in this first 15 minutes of the second half. I mean, we're now just at the hour mark. Madrid still leading thanks to those goals from Raúl and Steve McManaman. But, you know, if Anderlecht could sneak one, they could, especially against two very inexperienced central defenders, give them a little bit of a torrid time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery, that decision.
There's El Said, who's been very lively since coming on at half-time. I wonder if Makalele will just drop a little bit deeper, just to give a shelter
bit more
that defender a bit more.
yeah.
There's McManaman, who's once again swapped back to the left. There's Guti. He's given that one away though. Ball through the middle, and Cesar. That's an excellent clearance from the Real Madrid keeper.
That is a very, very good clearance.
He's in a bit of pain, but I think it's. I'm sure most of his teammates will believe it was worth the sacrifice. Was that mud on Morna's head?
No, I think it's a cut from earlier on.
Let's have a look at this. Really had to be out of his line quickly.
It's a long way out as well, and he saw it very, very early, because you see, as soon as that pass was made, he was already on his way, Thessa.
I'll tell you what, he gets Morna's knee in his ribs for his pains as well. Excellent clearance, brave clearance, and brave goalkeeping there from Cesar, who's looked very, very solid all night, hasn't he?
And it was interesting, I mean, it was Guti that gave the ball away. Silly pass, really, but I was just about to say just before he did, but it looked like Guti was going to come and play a little bit deeper just to protect Madrid, and then he did, well, quite the reverse from protecting them. He very, very nearly signed a death warrant for his own team.
Well, here's Hendricks with a free kick for Anderlecht, taking it quickly. Morna got in there. In fact, it's Krassen getting in there ahead of Steve McManaman.
You see Krassen and McManaman going in for the ball together in the air. It's always likely that Krassen's going to get there first.
I think in the end, McManaman, what he does is he turns his back, just hoping just to destabilise him.
I think it takes quite a bit to destabilise Krassen. Perhaps not mentally, as we saw when he had a go at the referee. He got destabilised extremely quickly then. But physically, he's a tough proposition.
He's powerful, isn't he? Mitchell Salgado just to take the throw in no hurry to do so. Figo just couldn't quite bring that ball under control. Oof. And once again, Liachtu not looking particularly happy. Traore looking, needs some support. Finds it there. Zilic to El Said. Tries to curl the ball across, but it cannons off Mitchell Salgado for a corner, and a few nervous moments for Vicente del Bosque.
Yeah, it's certainly not as comfortable as it looked at half-time, when Real Madrid looked very, very much in control. Look a little bit concerned.
Traore gets up, couldn't direct that header goalwards. He's certainly come into the game a lot more happier, hasn't he, on the right?
He's looked much, much happier on the right. He's got up and down a lot more. And
there's a cat on the pitch. How on earth did a cat get into the ground? So he seems to want to go out.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Did somebody actually bring the cat to the ground? Is it the stadium cat? Did it just decide to sort of get in through the crash barriers? Who knows? McManaman just checks to see Guti's all right. Got a little knock from Krassen, and McManaman carries on into the area. Steve McManaman, but the offside flag is up.
Well, it was pretty close, you know.
He can't believe it, McManaman. He scored Madrid's second tonight on 34, and I reckon he fancied his chances. Oof, that's no way is that offside.
Not even by a whisker.
Ha ha, cat's whisker even.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Traore.
That wasn't even close, was it?
No.
And it really wasn't. McManaman's Well, it's not surprising he's annoyed. I mean, it wasn't just that. I think it may even have been level with the guy alongside it, but there was the fullback was a good two yards or so further on.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things. He was outside, seems to push Michel Salgado there. Two high hands. I think what it was once again the linesman was looking in the middle, and the other player, no excuse really, is perhaps just out of his focus.
Perhaps
Maybe he was so far behind that he never even saw him. And there, Dindane penalised for pushing Michel Salgado. He's got to be a little bit careful with his reaction. Aruna Dindane, he's already been booked. Him along with Krasen. Well, that's pretty clear cut. Frigo working back, sending it to Cesar. Not been called on to make any saves as such, Cesar, but he's been just looked really secure all game. He's made every cross he's gone for, caught everything cleanly, and then he did sprint out of his area exceptionally well a few minutes ago to deny Mornar.
Yeah, and had he not got there, then he certainly would have had a save to make.
Exactly. Pavon seems to have got the measure of Mornar now on the right. He struggled in the first half, but he's got every challenge in since then. Battled on there, Mornar, and won the free kick just outside the Madrid penalty area.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt at all in my mind that Pavon got a touch on the ball there. Whether there may have been some contact as well, I'm not so sure, but I thought that was a fairly generous decision to Anderlecht, that one.
And it's a reward for what, they took a short corner with a big centre forward out by the wing. I think the situation they're in, you'd think Anderlecht would want to get the ball into the box as soon as possible. As it is Cesar organising his defensive wall. El Said chipping it in. McManaman getting up so that he can win headers.
Yeah. Great challenge, and I mean I think that the linesman's flag was already up, but there's a great challenge at the very end there by Paco Pavon as well, and the ball sat up. Pavon just got a toe end in there. It's interesting. I mean, we're talking about a centre back, so you don't expect to see them as such, but we've seen absolutely nothing of Ruben since he's come on.
No.
Which in some ways is a good sign, because we haven't seen him skinned by anyone, we haven't seen him beaten in the air by anyone, but nor have we seen him make any challenges.
Just being in the right place just to close down the gaps.
Yeah.
Throwing goes Madrid's way. Halfway through the second half, it is still Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 2, with those goals from Raúl and Steve McManaman, which at the moment look to be putting Vicente Del Bosque's side in the next stage of the Champions League. That's a nice move though, Roberto Carlos, and Raúl couldn't quite get on the end of it. I think it was well defended by Illich. But once again, Madrid, they've been under the cosh for the last 10 minutes, just stepping up again. There was Roberto Carlos making that long run forward.
Well, it's just the precision of the pass, wasn't it? Just carve open enough space for Roberto Carlos to put in a very, very good cross, and Raúl wasn't far away from it. Madrid, they have been under pressure, you're right, but then of course they just have that ability just to create a chance.
Under pressure, but they've not.
And a third goal, and it would have been all over.
Oh yeah, under pressure, but they've not allowed Anderlecht to create any clear-cut chances. It looks like Steve McManaman is going to be replaced. Second Madrid player to go off. Savio, that's Savio Bortolini, an interesting change. Savio should give Madrid a little bit more. I think that what that probably means is they'll be sitting back a little bit deeper and looking for Savio to really exploit his pace.
Yeah, to run at people, try and take people on. It's a good challenge.
Good challenge from Ruben. Took a risk, but just got across there in time. So McManaman, the second Madrid player, substituted. The first one was Fernando Hierro, who was replaced by this man making the challenge, Ruben Gonzalez.
I guess the one thing that Ruben has in his favour there is if the referee isn't in doubt, having seen the absolutely horrific dive from Dindane earlier, he's going to go Ruben's way.
But Dindane got the touch. Still not clear, Dindane tried the overhead kick.
Well, he's caused, between him and Morna, they've caused Madrid more problems than anyone else. He's got a lot of pace, he's powerful.
Striker from the Ivory Coast.
It just hasn't really fallen for him, has it? Because I mean, the bizarre thing about this is that Madrid are 2-0 up. You wouldn't begin to question that they deserve it. They've looked by far the best side. They've looked comfortable all the way, but they haven't actually created more than 2 or 3 chances.
It's just been such good control football. That's the thing. It's just been not so much in the second half, although there have been periods of it were, but just in the first half, the Madrid midfield just was in total complete control of the game.
They were just a different class to Anderlecht, weren't they? An entirely different class of football team.
Here is Dindane. A little bit of space there, but
and that time he was being pulled back by the shorts, I think, by Salgado.
It's good work from Figo, and in the end, just clever there, just delayed his clearance, allowed the Anderlecht player to nip in, and it's a throw-in for Madrid. We've got just under 20 minutes to go here in the Constant van den Stok Stadium in Anderlecht. Real Madrid winning 2-0 thanks to goals from Raúl and Steve McManaman, who's just gone off to be replaced by Savio. Play on, says the referee. As Raúl goes down. Dindane. Out on the left, coming inside. Switches it back. It's Hassi. Once again, Ruben gets up, gets a good header on that one. For Traore. El Said. Trying to work a shooting chance. And in the end, the referee decides to give the free kick.
Yeah, I think he was waiting to see if there might be an advantage for Anderlecht, which is why he was a little slow to actually blow the whistle. I don't think there's too much doubt that Fernández caught El Said.
Vicente del Bosque, impassive as ever on the Madrid dugout.
Took Luis Figo a long time to hear Cesar then, didn't it?
And Cesar got down well as Ayachtuk actually made contact with the ball.
Yep.
It's good to see. I think he proved with that he may be right-footed. Actually not a bad effort, but we'd need more than that to beat Cesar from that range. Savio just using his pace to good effect.
The other thing Savio will bring Real Madrid is that he'll draw a lot of fouls. They can take the sting out of the game, see out the last few minutes, run down that clock, and as you say, when they break, he's quick and he's direct, and he might well make things happen.
There's about 17 minutes of normal time left in Anderlecht. Real Madrid winning 2-0. Just having to do a little bit of defending at the moment. Here's Hassi. Intercepted by Pavon. Madrid at the moment with reasonably inexperienced, well, very inexperienced at this level central defenders as Paco Pavon and Ruben González in the middle of the Madrid defence, but they will be looking for all the help they can get from Claude Makalele, who's dropping in there, Michel Salgado, and of course Roberto Carlos, just to get them through these closing minutes of the game. And of course, the more the ball Madrid get down in the Anderlecht half, the better they'll like it. Here's Luis Figo. Side to Savio. And Roberto Carlos. Skips past Vander.
Well, it's just so easy.
Van der Haga again. Now, I think the Anderlecht captains thought about the obstruction and then thought, we better not. But he just looks full of running, doesn't he, Roberto Carlos? So that looks full of running every game.
Oh, it's incredible, and he really is. And this is one of the reasons why Real Madrid get away with what sometimes looks like a slightly imbalanced system, in that the guy who plays wide left for Real Madrid tonight, Steve McManaman, plays very, very narrow, because Roberto Carlos is full-back, left winger and striker all in one. It's frightening. He's a footballing one-man band. It's absolutely incredible.
Only problem is probably a little bit small at playing goal.
Yep.
Here's Dindane. Once again trying to attack that Real Madrid defence, but there Ruben. Well, since you said we haven't seen much of him, he's made 3 very good interventions.
Yeah, he's stepped in well, he's read the game well. And he's made a couple of good, as you say, good strong challenges when he's had to.
We're just approaching the last 15 minutes of the game. Madrid just looking to keep the ball moving. Salgado to Luis Figo.
Well, I didn't think there was any doubt that he'd been pulled back by Hendricks there. The referee didn't want to know. Figo's not at all happy.
And once again, Cesar out of his area, but the ball running through. But once again, just good judgment from Cesar.
Yeah, what
good
he's done, exactly what he's done is he's read the game in front of him very well tonight.
He only made one save, which was on that free kick from Iash took a couple of minutes ago, but he just looks so solid and so secure, Cesar, tonight. There's Hendricks. Dindane collecting. Looking for the overlap from Ilic, but Madrid defence getting in there. This time Figo, just a little bit, as much as Salgado, actually, just a little bit unlucky. Because the ball was there.
Yeah.
It was just nipped away from him by El Said.
And the challenge before that was Ruben again.
Just, well, he maybe follows through a little bit.
Yeah,
with his left
I thought at first you were right with his right foot in that he was unlucky, but his left foot swings right the way around, doesn't it? Makes absolutely sure of clobbering El Said.
Now the substitution is Guti, who's coming off. A little bit disappointing if you had to sort of single out anyone for criticism, Guti. But he's worked hard. And he's replaced by Fernando Morientes. So a straight swap. Maybe it'll be Raúl who'll drop back a little bit deeper now.
Yeah, so I would have thought Raúl would be the deeper of the two strikers.
Hendricks curls that one in, and Cesar makes yet another excellent claim.
That's a very, very good claim indeed, because the ball's travelling quick.
And he
it's
made
not
a lot
that
of ground.
high. It's not so high that he's got time to see it either. He made up a lot of ground, caught it very, very cleanly.
Really impressive display from Cesar tonight. And Savio trying to use his pace against Traore. Nice little work there from Savio. Right out by the touchline, kept it in. There's Roberto Carlos. Who else? The dummy, and it's not quite got to Luis Figo.
Yeah, Morientes just too soft, that touch back to Figo, wasn't it?
Here's Dindane now. Once again got Ruben with him. Have to time it well, Ruben in. Once again, he did really well there.
He did do well, because Dindane is quick. And you wonder now, with hindsight, whether Vicente del Bosque was just thinking, look, let's get someone with a little bit more pace than Fernando Hierro.
Well, if that was his idea, it's working out pretty well so far, because Ruben has got into this game and he's really shown a good turn of speed. There's Iachttuk going off for Anderlecht. To be replaced by O. Thompson. So there's a striker coming on. It's a deep corner at the far post. Traore got up well, but couldn't direct that header. Cesar taking his time over the goal kick. Still taking his time. Probably get a little warning from the referee soon, I think.
Yeah, I think if he does that more than a couple of times more, he will.
Pavon up well. Grassen. There's Mornar again, renewing his battle with Pavon, gets the ball across. Once again, Ruben just took that off Thompson's head. El Said, but he wanted too much time to bring that one down.
Yeah, it didn't come down from at first, and then he decided he was going to turn away from McAlady rather than just hit it.
And Dindane, was he just caught there? I think that's a slightly nervous look from the Anderlecht striker at the referee there. It's like, has he given it, or do I go for the early bath? Let's have a look. Yeah, Salgado just catches his trailing leg. As we go into the last 10 minutes of this game, we're just got a little bit of defending to do, although they should be comfortable with this 2-0 lead. And Cesar, once again, a safe pair of hands.
Well, that's been the story of the night from Cesar, hasn't it? He hasn't had to make any great saves, but he's been sure and secure all the way through, isn't he?
Just dropping in a nasty place from there, and Hendricks hitting it well. Cesar takes it out. Celade is just nipping in there in midfield. Makalele keeps it moving. Roberto Carlos got Savio outside him. Traore makes the tackle. Dane doing well, working back in defence. Back to De Vilda. He's not really been called into action very much the second half, the Anderlecht keeper.
No, he's hardly seen the ball. And yet, funnily enough, Madrid has still also managed to prevent Anderlecht from doing a huge amount with it as well.
It's been a good tactical performance from Madrid in the second half. They've not been able to... Anderlecht have stepped up a gear. Madrid haven't been able to stroke the ball around as they did in the first half, but nevertheless they've been working really hard at the back. The central defenders have performed well. I mean, Del Bosque must be delighted with what he's seen from Ruben and Pavon, especially Ruben since he's come on.
Yeah.
Pavon's had to struggle all game with Mona, who's been dangerous, but Ruben's just not put a foot wrong yet. There he is again, making an interception. Ilic out to Hendrik. Dindane with Salgado in front of him, just knocks it inside. Throw the ball over the top. The offside flag up against Morientes.
Well, I'm not so sure about that one, to be honest with you. Certainly seemed to be pretty close.
Well, the upshot of it is it's a free kick for Anderlecht, and El Said leaving the ball for Hendrik, gets it back. El Said. He's got Makalele ahead of him. He's got the ball across the area, and that was an excellent chance for Mo now, as it is. It's not even gone out for a throw-in. Traore back to Van der Haga. Ruben up well again. And Madrid able to scramble the ball halfway clear. El Said again just caused problems a second ago, but this time ball's not getting across the area. That was
a very, very good chance indeed for Mornay. He should have done a whole lot better than that.
First touch just let him down
and go out for a throw-in.
Been taken quickly, and Cesar once again. I'm starting to get tired of saying great claim by Cesar.
Yeah, he's had a very, very good game, hasn't he? And I think this is the kind of goalkeeping display that teammates really appreciate. You know, I mean, obviously teammates are impressed and are very, very grateful when a goalkeeper makes a sensational save and you know, gets them out of trouble, brilliant tip over the bar or whatever. But what they really, really want is a goalkeeper who they know where they are with him.
It's just an insurance policy, so he's caught everything.
Exactly. They know that, so when the centre backs know certain area, that's the goalkeeper. He's coming, he's getting it, he's keeping it, and he's holding it, and it's not spilling. And that's what Cesar's done tonight. He's been very, very impressive.
It's just stuck. I don't know if he's put glue on his gloves, but everything is stuck. So Roberto Carlos still finds time to hand the legs to get forward to Savio. Savio just working a little space there, but Traore did very well, stretching out a leg, conceding a corner. That's what Madrid want from Savio, just to win these set pieces.
Yeah, exactly, to run the clock down, keep the ball, and if possible, of course, to make something happen and score another goal.
But obviously, while the ball's in the Anderlecht half, Madrid are in no danger. It's Luis Figo. Roberto Carlos will be quite happy to keep a bit of possession. Although they've lost out there. Here come the visitors. They've got 5 minutes if they want to get something out of this game. 5 minutes in which they need to score 2 goals. 1-0. The advantage that the goals from Raul and Steve McManaman gave Madrid. Just a little bit far for Roberto Carlos. Krasen. Back to De Wilde. There was Dindane over on the right, and Ruben clearing with his heels.
Sort of unorthodox, wasn't it? But it worked very well, yeah.
That was an important interception from Krasen.
And Luis Figo was trying to find Raul very, very close to putting him through.
Dindane again, good challenge. Madrid were very close to getting through there again.
Yeah, what the Anderlecht defence has brought that defensive line really, really high up, which of course is squeezing the play, but it's also running the risk of Madrid getting through with a little clipped pass.
And there's Cesar once again.
Well, to be honest, I thought Roberto Carlos had kept that in then.
Here, Anderlecht again. Monar spent a long time out on the right in this game. Ooh, I think he's got caught by Roberto Carlos. You could hear him just on the ankle. Roberto Carlos has no problem admitting. I think it's accidental, isn't it? Just. Oh,
yeah, it's quite a nasty one, isn't it? I mean, it is accidental, but it's quite a nasty one.
Just mistiming his challenge there, Roberto Carlos. El Said with a free kick, curls that one in. Cesar did well, reacted very quickly there on the near post. I don't know if Monar got a touch on that.
I think he did, just a nudge on it. I feel a bit sorry for Monar. He's worked very, very hard and nothing's really come off for him.
Oh, we didn't he? Yeah, that's a good save from Cesar. Good reaction, because those crosses that just get the tinier touches are so hard for keepers. Flicked on by Morientes as Krasen and De Wilde not quite understanding each other, but De Wilde doing what he had to do, which was get a foot on it and send it long.
Yeah, I think the most Anderlecht fans have given up. It's gone very, very quiet. The few fans you can hear now, the Madrid fans again, and there are a few Anderlecht fans on their way out as well. I think they've seen a very good team tonight. Unfortunately for them, it's not theirs.
Exactly, it's been a very thoroughly professional display from Real Madrid in the first half. They kept possession, they moved the ball around, and just through being patient, they carved out the chances they need, took those chances.
Well, one of them after a move of what, 25, 30, maybe even 35 passes, superb.
And even though in the second half, as Ruben makes another interception, Anderlecht have stepped it up a gear. Madrid have defended very, very well. About a minute and a half to go of normal time. He didn't make that one. It's the first one he's not made there, Cesar.
Yeah, and very nearly paid the price for it, didn't he?
He was asking for Thompson, I think. Cesar's asking for the free kick. He just doesn't quite make that one.
No, he seemed to be buffeted slightly, didn't he, before he got there? And I think that's maybe what he's complaining about. And he has, as we said about 5 minutes. Oh no, he hasn't got the card. The referee went over very purposefully.
I think what Cesar did when he went for that one, I think he saw that Thompson was going to get the better of Makelele.
And decided he would get the better of Thompson. Just didn't get there quick enough, did he?
Exactly. That's good work from Raul. Chance for Morientes, still going to make it 3. Good shot for Morientes, hit it low and hard, but De Wilde was equal to it. We're into the last minute.
Yeah, he did very, very well, Morientes. The only thing is that I think he had Luis Figo coming along on the inside, and Figo wasn't very impressed when he saw Morientes have that shot.
Into the last minute, you're a striker, you've only come on as a substitute, you're going to have a shot, aren't you? Hendrik once again cuts inside on that right foot, hits a decent shot, but easy for Cesar. Morientes again. This time he does give it to Figo, just a little bit behind him. Figo looks up, there's Roberto Carlos making yards up on the right. Can Savio find him? No, but Raul can. Roberto Carlos looking for that little chipped ball into the area. It's a corner. We're into injury time. I'm sure Madrid won't be too disappointed because they're a question of seconds away from qualifying for the next stage of the Champions League.
Yeah, Roberto Carlos is disappointed. He's very frustrated with himself, but as you say, he needn't worry because Madrid are very, very close now to having a place in the second phase, and to having started this group in just fantastically good fashion with 4 victories.
4 out of 4. Well, of course, 4 out of 4 without Zinedine Zidane, who's been suspended.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. They signed him with a 4-game suspension from Juventus. This is the last game of Zidane's suspension, and they've won all 4 games, which is a little bit worrying for the rest of Europe.
It is indeed. You look at this team, how they've played tonight, and you think, and we're about to add the world's best player. My goodness.
Hendrik looking forward, picks out Morna, and the ball just skips away there from the big Croatian. Credit to Anderlecht, actually, the second half. A lot of teams could have laid down and died. They've actually picked themselves up and they've worked very hard. They've just not quite got the quality to break down what's been a very efficient Real Madrid midfield and defence.
Yeah, they've given a very good show of themselves in the second half, Anderlecht. But as you say, they've been up against a side that had really already done everything it needed to do in the first half. And just so long as it didn't get caught, I think maybe if Madrid had conceded 1 goal, this may have been different. They may have been a little bit nervous, and Anderlecht may have poured forward in greater numbers. But I think, generally speaking, Real Madrid looked pretty comfortable tonight.
Certainly they've been given confidence by Cesar, who's made an excellent performance, but people like Ruben, who's once again making that clearance, he's been able to come on and give a very, very assured display for half an hour.
Yes, he has.
It's Thompson. That one's hooked wide by Anderlecht. That was side, wasn't it? And there's Thompson, not really been able to make much of an impact since coming on as the substitute. And you get the impression that both sides just waiting now for the final whistle. Roberto Carlos, Makelele just helping it on. And Celades, who's been very much an unsung hero, but he's just moved those, just kept things moving, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Celades has been a very important part of the way Madrid have played.
Good shot there from Celades to Morientes, who looked for him. De Vilda once again getting down well, and Morientes looking for Celades, just couldn't quite get in there. Can Makelele set up a final chance? Fancies his chances, Makelele, just bounced on his back. Krassen.
It's a great interception from Makelele as well that settled that off.
Hendricks just clearing it to El Said. Had 3 minutes of injury time here in the Constant van der Stok Stadium, and that is enough for the referee who blows the final whistle. So, after 90 minutes, the final score is Anderlecht 0, Real Madrid 2. Those first half goals from Raul and Steve McManaman, giving Madrid all 3 points and classifying for them for the next stage of the Champions League. It's been a very professional performance from Madrid. They moved the ball around really well in the first half, and although in the second half Anderlecht pressed harder, they defended expertly. Very good performance from Madrid into the next stage in Europe. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.